That was fun, wasn't it? All right, let me get back over here. I just had to click onto this. Hello. I'm Kathy Freeman with Kathy Freeman Art, and I welcome you on this Tuesday. I am in Texas, and we have had ice. And for those of you that are in the cold states, that means very little to you, but to us here in Texas, I saw a funny thing on Facebook that a friend posted, and it was, let's see if I can remember it. Texas do not have winter weather, winter clothing. They go around in trading off their pajamas and sweatshirts. And I thought that was hilarious. That's cute because it's so rare that we do have such cold weather. And what we did have, it's still white out there, out of my yard. It's ice with snow mixed in it. And so anyway, welcome to you. I hope that you are safe. I hope all is well at your place, your home, and that you're able to manage this weather in this time of the year with a lot of comfort and ease. And right now, I want to go ahead and assist you with that by doing some creative art journaling. And I'm going to take you into my studio right here, face you down onto my tabletop and start creating. First off, I think what I'll do is go ahead and get back up here to the comments so that if any comments come in, please go ahead and say hello. I see we've got some listening, watching. I'm going out to several different parts of my stations, and I can't see the YouTube ones, but I can see those that are on Facebook, etc. So say hello and let me know where you're from. And just check in. I'm going to take a moment and go right over to, okay, well, it seems like my StreamYard is still doing a countdown. So I think it finally made it. That's fantastic. I'm glad that it did. All righty. Let me get the camera down. Go ahead and switch to. There we go. Now, on the vertical, it's pretty tough to see that. So what happens if I just do this? Oh, that's not what we want, is it? It always is a guessing game to see which one of these will work the best for you. All right. I guess that's going to work for that one. That works great for the Instagram folks, but I'm not really pleased with it for my my others. But let's see what this one is. Okay, that'll work. There we go. Kind of a big one of me. Perhaps what happens if I go ahead and take myself out. Thank you for your patience so much. So we're just getting started. It gives me a minute to kind of just check around and see. So we're just going to go with this and see a large one of me. All right, you can see right down here, we're facing down onto my tabletop, my art table, and I've got something that I'm actually working on and starting here in my journal. I want to share with you a few things that I've been creating. Last week, if you were here, the live, I created this journal page and just had a blast doing that, adding the yarn to this as I collage, giving myself some journaling places to go ahead and write and add information in that too. That page was a lot of fun to create. This book, I shared it last week, but I decided to go ahead and work in it again this week. I'm going to play with these pages and see what we can come up with. This is a page that I created while I was with yesterday. My Art Sisters, our community, we meet together every Monday for about an hour, and we chat and create, work on projects that we've got to work on. And this is what I created yesterday, this wonderful background that I'll be able to use for some of my journaling pages. And so I want to encourage you, if you don't know what to make, and to tell you the honest truth, the 100% honest truth, creating this for me is more difficult than it is to actually work on creating something that I know what the outcome is. Just to kind of let loose and stamp and do things like that, for me, I find it challenging. And so, because it is challenging, that encourages me to work on it and do it. Hi, Lynn. Good to have you here. I am glad that you're here. Thanks for showing up. Anyway, just to let loose in this and do this, it is more challenging for me. I think because I like a little more structure personally than just throwing things to the wind. What I did use with this is let's see, I should have them close by and I can show them to you. I used my watercolors, of course, but then for my Christmas gift to myself, boom, I got these Dr. P.H. Martin's inks. And these are actually India inks. There's lots of different kinds. There's acrylic inks. There's all different, but these happen to be India inks. I was drawn to them, not because it had to be India ink. It's just because I loved the colors, the vibrant colors that are inside this kit. And I was thinking, okay, that speaks my name all over the place. So I'm not getting any kind of a cut for sharing that. Excuse me. Yes, we are in cold weather, aren't we? But that is what gives the vibrant colors. And I just took that and splumped that down, added some water to it, moved it around, and it gave these beautiful, bright colors. Also used, I do love Prima watercolors. And these tropical ones are my favorites so far. I've added a lot more to it than what comes in the kit, but their colors are vibrant and really show up super well. Make sure that if you're doing this, and if you're new, if you're an old veteran, you know this already, but if you're new, make sure that your ink is permanent ink. I did want to try out some new pads that I had purchased, and they didn't say permanent on it. And I thought, okay, well, they're inexpensive. Well, that probably your first giveaway, but I thought, let's just try it out and see. And when I did that, I don't know if I have the example of that. Here we go. This is what happens. I stamped right here. You add the water to it and it just bleeds. And so make sure that your ink, if you're going to work with it, is a permanent ink so that when you add color, water, whatever to it, you do something else with it, it stays just as you want it to stay. So that's my little tidbit. Make sure that it says permanent on it. And if anybody has some favorites here that's in this group, go ahead and post those on here. So for others that are watching, I don't know if the comments show up on the replays, but at least watch it here and I'll make the comment. I'll read it out loud and then others can hear it too. Today, what I wanted to do is this is an upcoming project that I have. I believe I'm going to be giving to my art sisters in March, not this, but something similar to it. And I thought I would experiment and just play with it first and see what will happen. I am using some modeling paste in my journal, and I just use something not too expensive. And after I sketched out, then I went ahead and put this on here because I want to create that look of plaster and that against the walls. And I thought, well, let's just try it and play with it and see if it'll work out. I'm going to move a few things off my desk here. When I applied it, I went ahead and just used a plastic knife. Nothing fancy in that, but it made it easy to smooth it out. This I'm going to save because I had so much water going on, so much color going on that page that I use this as a blotter. And I really like some of the textures that it created, and I'll use that. Let me show you. This is a project I have for my art sisters coming up here in February. And all this collage is this paper right here. And it's what it is it's the non-wax wax paper. It's like a deli paper that you would use. And I went ahead and painted different. I think I have those all right here. Oh, I've got this one. I went ahead and painted some colors on it so that I could use it to rip up and cut out these different images to create this collage. And so that's the same kind of effect I want to create in here. Put that to the side. I could even use that as I'm not going to put that too far because I don't want to forget about it. Just keep that close by. I'm going to put this in between my pages here just to protect the other ones, and grab one more to act as my palette. Welcome. All right. We have there. Thank you. Okay, we got rid of that one. I'm going to use just plain old acrylic paints. And so grab out your acrylic paint, and I want to use for this let's see, I've got a chocolate brown. This one is really pretty. It's a champagne color. I don't know if I'll use that though. As much as what I need is this natural buff. That's probably the color I need. Just grab a few browns and let's see, because some blues even. Our houses don't have to be brown, do they? Actually, let's just make them bright. What would that be like? Okay. Lynn, are you working on anything here at the same time? If so, what are you working on? My goal here in working on this is to see if I want to paint the image first and then apply the modeling paste over the top, or put this down. Okay. That is a lot of brown. That's all right. Got a lot of brown there. All right. Can you see this book all right? Let's move it this way. There. It's always a challenge to make sure you're under the camera and seeing that everything works great. All right. Now I keep my brushes as best as I can separate. The ones I use for acrylics and the ones I use for watercolor. So let's just pull out a few of these. And I'm going to start with the roof up here. Painting it in. And it probably would be great to have a black. Let's see. Well, I have a gray. And this is a great color. This is a mushroom. Let's use this gray right here. mix around. And I didn't clean out my brush from the brown. I'm going to mix it right in with that gray and work on this roof right here. Now, when you're working in a book, those of you that have done this before are very familiar with this, but those that haven't, you want to take out some pages of your book as you go along because it gets so thick, even when you're just painting in it. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Because you think this isn't adding anything to it, but it actually is. And it will make your book kind of expand out. So that's an easy way to do that. All right. Just watching at the moment, that's great. It is nice and relaxing just to watch, isn't it? Just to get some ideas, but mostly it gets us in the mood, I think, to want to go create. Right, so we've got that. And I'm going to take a little bit more of that brown, mix it in with my gray. So I've got a different shade and work on this one right here. And what I'm doing is I'm experimenting. I would rather paint than cut paper and put down. But this would be darling to have these pages, actually these different sections of these homes and that, to just cut some really cute or different designed papers and glue those down. There's an artist here in my area, and she works all with paper and cuts and does all these different, I don't have her card right here, but she has on her card, she's got the images of she does these gorgeous faces of little girls, and it is all cut paper and teeny tiny pieces. And I admire it so much because for me, just the thought of sitting there doing that is nerve-wracking, but she loves it. All righty. For you that have joined, I am working in my art journal, and I really don't even know the language that you're saying there, so I apologize. But we're working in our art journal, and I welcome you here. Let's see. We're just going to try a few of these things out and see. Must be getting quite a few of these off of YouTube, where a lot of people must be busy on there because of the weather. All right, let's keep moving along here. And this is a very bright blue. It's kind of gotten to the point where, as weird as some of these social medias get, it's much more enjoyable to just stream straight into our communities than it is to go and do these lives. So if you're familiar with my work, you know I have a place on the website that you can watch this. It's in the little event center, and you can find it there. All right. That's a bright blue. I'm mixing right now this blue and the brown together. So far, I've only used 4 different colors on here, and we're just mixing the colors using what we have. Okay, this is giving me, which is great, the texture underneath. This is an experiment. If you're just showing up, you're wondering what I'm doing. This is an experiment in my art journal for another project that I'm doing with my art sisters coming up. And I wanted to use modeling paste and see if I apply the modeling paste first or if I apply it after I've done both. Let me show you something that I did use modeling paste on. Where is it? All right, this little snowman. After finished the project and painted, then I came back with the modeling paste and just skimmed it over the top of the trees. And it gave that wonderful snow. But this time I wanted to see what would happen if I put it underneath because I really want the texture to work with. Okay. Let's go in here and to do this color. Just to be bright. I've used watercolor before with this modeling paste, and it works. The thing is, you've got to be aware of anytime you add water to the modeling paste, you're reactivating it. And so can't use can't play with your colors and blend in that. You need to just do it and be done with it. Because the more you mess with it, then the more you're breaking down that modeling paste. Okay, working on these little windows. Okay. Let's go ahead and add some of our beige. This is called buff. Nice thing about doing these things in our journals or our journals is it's always you can experiment and play, try different things. It's right in that crease. That's a little challenging. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to take what I have here, and I've already did some of the modeling paste down in here also, and I cut out stones. I didn't cut out, excuse me. When I mean cut out, I cut into with just a sharper, not sharp, but a pointed, and created these stones inside here. Let's make this path. I would be tempted to add some water, but because it is the modeling paste, I'm not going to do that. It's this page right here. Put this darker color brown underneath here as if it's more of a shadow. Blend it out. I'm going to grab that gray. And just hit a few of these stones by themselves. See if you can see that. I was just online with one of our students, and I was telling her that being able to loosen up really makes for me art a lot more enjoyable. So, hi Joni. It's good to see you. Tell me, either of you, do you like things to be more defined? I don't know what the words are I'm looking for here. If you got an idea of what I'm talking about, put in the comments. Do you like your images to realistic? There we go. That might be the term I'm looking for. More of a picture image, photograph image, I think they call it. That's kind of fun. Okay, just moving along here, just loosely. Let me grab a smaller brush, this gray. Joni, what have you been up to lately? How are y'all doing as far as this weather's concerned? Is everybody okay? Let's see. This is a liner brush. I have water there, so I want to be careful. All right. These I did not leave the windows, did I? We can come back and add some. It's just a fun kind of, it's relaxing to work on these simple shapes. And we're coming along here. Move that back over. Let's grab a small brush again. It's a tiny one. That cream buff. Can you imagine what are these people that live in these homes? What are they doing? A little village. Joni, how are you doing as far as the weather where you're at? I hope it's going well. I hope you're not one of our members. Well, I've got one of them. Several were on the call yesterday. We have a group call every Monday. And one is in Alaska. Patsy's in Alaska, and it's fun to hear stories of what it's like. I will probably more than likely never visit Alaska myself personally, but it was so fun to hear what it's like up there, especially during the wintertime. But we saw instead of just a snow plow, they have something that goes through that actually picks up the snow, plows through, picks it up and takes it and throws it out of this big long metal pipe into dump trucks, where then those dump trucks take it and dump it in an area specifically for snow. It's really interesting. And the other thing that blows me away is how dark it is up there, you know, how long it stays dark. And it's just fun to hear the stories. And then Sue, she lives on the other side of the lake from where Chicago is, but on the other side of the lake. And it has just been snowing nonstop where she's at. Okay, I'm liking those little windows right there. That's kind of fun to experiment with that and to try that. Now, what I want to do, this is going to be down here, is before I get too much further, see, we've got another little house on this other side. So let me go ahead and do that. All these little rows of houses. What color should we make that? I haven't used this blue. Let's try it. All right. Color is it? Fog. And I want to sketch out really quick so I don't forget that I've got it. Hunkered down by a fire with a cup of tea. I imagine that they're hunkered down by a fire. That's cute. That's a great thing. I love that. Thank you. So awesome. All right, just to remind me, I need that little reminder, believe it or not. I get painting away here. Of course, I can paint right over it and do what I did over there. Can you see that on the camera? Yep, I can see it. I hope you can. I have not gone into the Creative Reminders library to pick out my statement. I thought I had one right here, though. I might use that one. I started the podcast, and last week, this last Friday, the one that I did some research on, and it was really interesting. I learned a lot as far as how it's like calibrating each other. When we are around people, do you ever notice that sometimes you're around somebody and their presence seems to calm you? And I found it to be really important the more I studied it and read more about it. And it's really about being able to deal through situations. We have different things that come towards us that create anxiety. Obviously, they do. But if we're able to manage through those, and it's the process of being able, children, young adults do not have the tools to do that. And it was really interesting as I was studying and reading more and learning more and applying it to the knowledge that I have, it made sense why they say so many kids, when they leave for college, end up in the counselor's office because they're unaware. They can't deal with the stresses, let alone school. But then now they're on their own, which sounds wonderful and everything when they're at home. But then once they get away, it's great. It's, no complaints, but it's a challenge, and it's new territory, and it can be quite overwhelming for many of the teenagers. The one I'm going to be doing for this Friday, I wanted to continue more about anxiety and how, just as some families have, just a second, can't paint and talk at the same time. It's like chewing gum, right? We inherit through our genes, through our family, different tendencies and weaknesses for things. And the tendency to have anxiety, to deal with, and have that type of level can be hereditary, but doesn't mean that you necessarily have to deal with it. But what happens is over a period of time of dealing with long stress over a long period of time, and it starts to affect us and it opens up. I don't know if that's the right word. I haven't finished writing it yet, but it does create the tendency. And as I was reading, learning, understanding other things, it made me more appreciative of this gift of journaling and writing down. We need some more of this. Writing down these affirmations and having the Creative Reminders Library to go to just find statements that are meaningful and we can relate to. Okay, we're going to do this one. I'm not even watching the time. So I hope that we're okay on time here. Okay, this is coming along and I'm having a blast doing this. Okay, what I did want to get to, I'm going to get, what time is it? We're getting close. So this is going to be my little garden down here. Let's go ahead and add some things to that garden, and then I'm going to whitewash our homes, our little buildings. Where did that go? There we go. I'm using a liner brush. Even though I want to add let's do some mixing of color here. Some highlighting in there. Oh, this is going to come out fast because it's probably because it's got this tip on it. Ooh, looked out there, gals. It didn't all come out at one time. Okay. Let's just get some green in here. Let me see what I'm doing. If you haven't listened to the podcasts and it sounds like it's something of interest, but you can find it on Apple Podcasts, or you can go right to myartsister.com. And in there, I've got a little building that houses. I haven't written a blog in my blog lately because I'm just focusing mostly. Probably should just go ahead and shut that down, but I have some older articles in there. Right, we got that. Some green grasses. And as usual, I am running out of time, but I will come back and work on that some more and then post it. I'm also going to do a sped up video of creating this just for the fun of it. Just some little tiny clumps of this. Gives a nice contrast. So you've got your medium green, your darker green, you've got then just these little yellow green gives nice little highlight to it. Anyway, if you know any young moms, your grandmother, last week's, I think, is the information I came across, I'm shared within that, I found to be very enlightening. Something I wish I had understood better myself as a young mom, but it's all right. Everything gives us experience and wisdom, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to go back in there and put in flowers in a minute. Let's get to, this has been fun, and I appreciate you sitting here and going through this with me and watching as we're doing it. I'm going to grab my, let's see, oh, don't touch the, let's just put little doorknobs on. You got to be able to open the door. All right, I'm going to use my gloved hand, which I'm left-handed, so this will be interesting. Maybe it's okay I'm doing it with my right. All right. This is gesso. If we don't like it, it's not going to be a problem. We just go back over and paint the color over it. I think a little brush might be helpful for me here. Aha. This will be great. I'm going to kind of buff it a little bit. And the side I'm going over on, I'm going to get that off of there. Okay, give me a thumbs up. how healing both creating and journaling can be. I'm fascinated with how many athletes and celebrities have turned to it. Oh, I didn't know they had. Thank you for telling me about that, Lynn. Okay, this is a wet. This particular one does not have a lot of texture from the modeling paste. Give me a thumbs up. What do you think? You like the... Okay, let's go over onto this one. Just a little bit. I don't have just a little bit on my brush. Okay. And this one has a lot of texture. So we're going to get more of what I was thinking with this one. As it goes over that. And so right, this is kind of interesting. I'm liking it. First, I was loving the bright colors. But this is kind of fun. All right, that's coming right along there. Thank you, Joni. Never know what's going to come out. All right. Time is it, guys? We're just having got to be on a call here in just a minute for homeschool summit. But I am having so much fun, and thank you for being here with me as we're doing this. Okay. I'm not sure if this is the one I have right here, but I may go back in and look for a different creative reminder to add to this. And this one comes out of the library. It's 451. I have a strong sense of reassurance. I know I have support because God has my back. I choose to be in tune with the promptings that I feel within. I trust God's guidance. I am being guided in my goals and desires. I do love that one. I love that in my little journal page. And I'm thinking that is probably what I will put in today's. And I think what I'm going to do is take it and glue it up here at the top, just that one half. And I'm going to put some little clouds or something over it. And that way I can, or this way, and then I can lift it up and read it as I want it. It doesn't take away from what's being done. All right. Thank you so much. I need to put this down as much as I'm having a blast and get ready for that live call that's coming in that I've got to be ready for. But thank you for being here. And I will see you again next week. Kind of like a seaside village with weathered paint. Yes, that's what I was thinking. It does. I'm having a blast doing it. And I hope it's been relaxing for you and inspiring. I wish you a beautiful, wonderful day. And see you again in my art studio next week. Talk to you later.